For this question, this is an example of a difference concept question. So let's take a look at this question. Shop A and Shop B sold two types of mobile phones, Yozo phone at $599 and Zenny phones at $999 each. Shop A and Shop B sold the same number of mobile phones last month. A sold 13 Yozo phones and some Zenny phones. Shop B sold 15 Zenny phones and some Yozo phones. The total amount Shop A collected was $2,000 less than Shop B. So for part A, how many Yozo phones did Shop B sell? Okay, so in this question, we talk about the number of phones as well as the cost of the phones. Okay, so two things. One is the quantity, one is the value. Quantity is the number of phones. So what we know is that there are two shops and they sold the same number of phones. So I'm going to present this quantity in a form of a model. Okay, so where we have equal number, two bars for shop A and shop B. Now, I know that shop A sold 13 Yozo phones and some Zenny phones. Okay, but I'm not sure if shop B sold more or less Yozo phones. Okay, so this will be the challenging part when I draw the model. Now, we know from the question that the total amount that shop A collected was $2,000 less than B, right? So this will tell us that if A collected less means that A sold more of the cheaper one. Okay, so A sold more of the cheaper one, which is the Yozo phone. Okay, so since, as what I've said, since shop A collected less, means that shop A sold more of the cheaper one, which is your Yozo phones, than shop B. Okay, so this will help us draw the model correctly. So this also means that shop B sold more of the Zenny phones, the more expensive one. Okay, so A, I know the split between Yozo and Zenny is 13 Yozo, some Zenny. I'm not sure if Zenny is more than half or less than half. It doesn't matter. As long as you you mark out 13 Yozo phones for shop A and B will have fewer of that. Okay, fewer Yozo phones. So the rest of it will just be your Zenny phones. And shop B sold 15 Zenny phones. So this is the model that you need to draw. And from here, okay, let's go back to the difference in the amount collected. They sold the same number of phones, right? So why is there a difference in the amount collected? So the difference in the amount collected is actually derived from this portion of the two models. Okay, so if I were to split the models up into three different zones, so this part here, so if I were to split them into three different zones, something like that. Right, the first zone, second zone, third zone. In the first zone, we are comparing Yozo and Yozo. There shouldn't be any difference in the amount, right? In the last zone, the third zone, we're comparing Zenny and Zenny. There shouldn't be any difference in amount either. But the difference in the amount actually comes from this part here, where we're comparing Yozo and Zenny. Okay, so this is where we get a difference of $2,000. This part. So $2,000 is a difference between how many Yozo and how many Zenny phones. Now take note, common errors students may make by looking at this model is that if they see this is 13, this is 15, then they think that the difference is, the overlapping part is 2. But actually it's not. So that's what I'm trying to find, okay? How many phones are there in this portion here? So if the difference of $2,000 is between some Yozo, some Zenny, then let's look at the difference between one Yozo and one Zenny phone. Okay, one Yozo phone is $599, one Zenny phone is $999. So the difference would be $999 minus $599, $400. Okay, so if you have every difference between one Yozo and one Zenny, you will get a difference of $400. Okay, so how many of them are there such that the difference is $2,000? So I'll take 2,000 divided by 400. I want to know how many are there. So there are 5, so this 5 means that there's 5y and 5z. Okay, so 5 here means this portion here is made up of 5 phones. Now we go back to the question, how many Yozo phones did shop B sell? Shop B, this part here, is 13 for shop A, 5 fewer for shop B. So 13 minus 5. So this is 8. Part B, how much money did shop A collect? Okay, so that's the answer for part A. This is what we're trying to find for part A. Now for part B, how much money did shop A collect? For shop A, I already know 13. I know that Yozo phones will be 13. So 13 times 599. Okay, what I don't know is the number of Zenny phones that shop A sold. So if you compare these two, the ones in green, 15 Zenny phones minus 5 will give you the number of Zenny phones that shop A sold. Okay, so this is a 10. So 10 times 999. So 13 times 599 plus 10 times 999. Calculate this out. This will give us $17,777. Okay, so this is your answer for part B.